everybody. We're the CSI Green Team, and we're an environmental club here at Tucson International High School. My name is Jessie Dirks.
I'm Katya.
And our focus this year as an environmental club has been to create a sustainable school composting program. So what does that mean? Basically that we already had a composting program, but it wasn't working as well as we'd hoped, and we didn't have enough support as we wanted. So we're trying to make it a school-wide effort so that everybody's involved. So first we're going to watch a little video about what is oh wait, hold on. How many of you guys know what composting is? Can someone give me a definition of composting? Or compost? What do you think it is? It's okay if it's something crazy like purple goo.
I don't know, like take food waste or stuff like that.
It's like taking food waste and then making it like the worms eat it down, you know?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Who's heard of a worm bin before?
Ooh.
Yeah. My mom's back there. She has a worm bin at her classroom. She teaches kindergarten. It's adorable. And do any of you guys compost at school? Well, here's from outside of Washington.
We're all from the same school.
Favorite island. Okay, so you guys don't compost?
Well, I think.
I don't know.
Well, there was that one time last year.
Oh, okay. Is it put out?
Well, there's kids in that, so someone.
I didn't even need to post it.
Okay, so maybe some of our presentation will help you guys understand why composting is important and how you can get your school to actually use that compost bin. So first we're going to watch this video.
Might be a bit loud.
Okay, we don't know how loud it is.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm in kindergarten and my name is Jasper. I'm in kindergarten and my name is Leica. I'm in kindergarten and my name is Agnes. I'm in kindergarten and my name is Skylar. And my name is Lindsay.
And I'm Maya from the Highfield Center for Composting.
We are going to teach you how to compost at your school.
What is compost? Compost is a pile of green organic matter, like food, garden waste, or manure, that has been mixed with brown organic matter, such as leaves, straw, or wood chips. Over time, the compost pile decomposes or breaks down into soil. Billions of tiny creatures help with this breakdown, including worms and fungus, and bacteria. Compost is very rich in nutrients and can be used in gardens and fields to grow crops and to heal soil. And why should we compost?
Compost helps our world so it doesn't be all just loaded with trash. Garbage doesn't get used like compost does because garbage goes into a big pile wherever that is.
These piles are called landfills. When you throw your food into the garbage, this is where it ends up. Landfills seriously affect our planet's air and our water. When sent to a landfill, leftover food, also known as food scraps, will produce a gas called methane. Methane is a powerful greenhouse gas that goes into our air and contributes to global warming in a big way. Greenhouse gases trap the sun's heat in our atmosphere and warm up our planet. Hotter temperatures can lead to melting ice caps, rises in sea level, and animals losing their homes. There is a lot of water in food, and when food scraps are put into the landfill, the water from the food combines with all the other items in the landfill to create a toxic sludge called leachate. Leachate can leak into groundwater and get into our rivers and lakes, harming the creatures that live there and dirtying the water that we drink or swim in. When we compost our food scraps, instead of sending them to the landfill, we reduce both the amount of methane and leachate created, but also we conserve space in our limited landfills. In short, composting is much better for our planet. A closed food cycle is created by keeping food scraps out of the landfill. Food is grown, eaten, and then the food scraps are composted back into the soil to grow more food. So where do you put your food scraps?
We put it in the compost buckets. They say compost only on them so people know to not put anything else in.
Source separation is very important. That means keeping food scraps in a container by themselves. At your school, there will be a bucket to put food scraps specifically. It's very important to keep everything separated into the proper containers. For example, trash goes into the trash can and dishes go back to the kitchen. What goes in the compost bucket?
You can put in carrots, apple cores, lettuce, cucumbers and tomatoes, oranges, watermelon, strawberries, pizza and strawberry, ice cream, fish.
You can also compost any of these: meat and bones, eggs and eggshells, cheese, milk and other dairy products, bread, flour and pasta, butter, oils and fats, nuts and nutshells, soup and sauces, seafood and shells. Basically, anything that you can eat can go in the compost bucket. Some schools also have compostable napkins and dishes that can go in the compost bucket. Ask your teacher if you use these at your school. What does not go in the compost bucket?
You cannot put plastic in compost. You cannot put milk cartons in the compost. You can't put in napkins, metal cans, glass jars, paper plates, that's silverware, watering cans.
And don't forget to peel the little peel you stickers off of your fruit. Remember to check with your school, but in general, if it isn't food, it cannot be composted. So, no plastic, no paper, no metal, no wood, and no glass of any kind. So, what happens to the food scraps once they leave the school?
All the tiny compost buckets, they're emptied out into a big compost bucket, so it goes in the compost top, it goes to compost.
The food scraps leave the school and head to a compost facility where they are blended and made into compost.
They sit for a year and turn into dough, made out of food.
We've come a long way from the lunchroom, and now that the compost is made, what can compost be used for?
Grows grass. Compost turns into flour. Composting can help your family grow vegetables. The compost helps grow food so you can grow taller or smaller.
And that's it. It's just one big food cycle. Composting closes the loop on our food system, creating a healthy, harmonious, and sustainable system for all of us to thrive.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for composting.
So, what do you guys think?
How come you can't compost napkins? And what are compostable napkins?
So this is a disclaimer. In Seattle, we actually can compost paper plates and napkins, especially if they're dirty. So basically, they can break down just the same. We're not quite sure why the video says that you can't, but it's different for different areas depending on who picks up your waste and how your area cleans up your waste.
Wait, one more question. What
Yeah.
about paper towels?
Paper towels are also compostable. Basically, any kind of like paper sack lunch that's dirty with food stuff on it, you can put into the compost. And if it's clean, you can put it in the recycling. So here was our question: why did we start a composting program in the first place? What happened was that 94% of our garbage in our school was actually compostable, and 16 bags of garbage were being sent out of the lunchroom each day for 2 lunches. 16 bags. And there were 8 garbage bins in the lunchroom. There was no recycling, no compost whatsoever. And then all the food waste from the kitchen was also sent to the landfill. So this was a huge problem. It was causing the janitors to have to clean up a bunch more, and it actually is more expensive to have people pick up garbage in Seattle. So it's a lot cheaper if we compost as well. And then
So, first we did a trial run in the spring of 2011, and then we launched the actual program in the fall, and we've reduced the amount of waste to just 2 bags of garbage per lunch as opposed to 16 bags of garbage.
for getting support for how we did this program, we had to start with a plan and figure out, okay, how are we going to compost? How are we going to get people excited about composting? And then we had to find teachers, friends, and other staff who were willing to support us. So that's like, first you get a group of people, and then we had to talk to teachers about, hey, would you be willing to help us with this? We had to check with administration to see if they'd be okay with it. And then we like scheduled meetings to meet and try and come up with ironing out all the little details of like what barriers could we possibly face. And then getting approved, we had to talk to the administration. We were really lucky because, especially this year, they've been really, really supportive and really excited about composting. So that was nice. And then we presented to the building leadership team, which in our school is a team that has representatives from administration, from the student body, and from the PTSA, so parent support. And they approved it and gave us some suggestions on how to fix our plan a little bit. And then we talked to custodians after it was approved, and because they're the ones in charge of picking up all the waste. So we had to make it sure that it was okay with them. And then we talked to teachers because our plan involved